Okay, so I just came back from work like a couple of hours ago. And I was just on the trains, just scrolling through topics, scrolling through my phone, just looking at the things, and then I came across this article by Classic FM. Well, they were reporting on it. If you don't know what Classic FM is, I originally found out what they were on their YouTube channel, but they have to do a lot with like opera and classical music. So I look on their article, and the English touring opera company got rid of half of their orchestral employees due to, and this is real, due to the prioritization of increased diversity. So, and I was just very perplexed. I don't, and I heard, and many of them have been there for years. There have been employed by the ETO for years. So it doesn't make any sense to me why they would get rid of them just because they want to increase their diversity. I mean, I get it. Usually when you think of opera and classical music, of you think of a white centric dominated field. But now that we're progressing, I guess, there are more and more black people coming in to the there are more and more black people becoming composers. There are more and more black people getting into opera, like actually singing, performing opera. And there are more people and obviously there've always been a lot of people getting into who play instruments. It's just like I they got rid of half of their employees who are doing a good. Can you imagine what the conversation would be like? It's like, oh, you know what? We're going to fire you. It's like, why? Was I not performing well? It's like, no, you're performing well. You're just not black enough for us. It's just like, what? It's like, I that's that's discrimination. That is. I feel like it is discrimination. I would sue. I would sue. If that were me, I would sue. Because it's like you laid off people during a worldwide pandemic just because they don't support your increased diversity. And it's just like this is the reason why so many of us black people don't trust these companies that support black lives. It's just because this is just the definition of pandering. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get rid of you just because you're not black. It's like, because we just want to increase it. No, you want to increase black seats, which gives you money, because you know there's value in the black dollar, and that's why you want to increase your diversity. You don't care about anything. You just want the black dollar, the black seats. The black people will see the diversity. They'll come, they'll sit down, and then they'll give you their money, and then you'll be happy. So no, these companies do not care about diversity. They care about the money, obviously. And black people like me know that this have had it in the back of our minds. Nothing's going to change because these big companies do not care. And this is the sole reason why we think that they're only pandering to us. They're patronizing us. They don't really care, because doing something like this, I mean, I'm not saying it's like the people who got hired, obviously had nothing to do with this, because yeah, they probably did put in the work and they're probably really good at their field, and they just so happen to be a different race, different ethnicity that doesn't fit the European standard. And it's just like, but it's just like, but if I knew why I got hired, yeah, it was like, I'm hired just because I'm black. So basically, I didn't need to put 20 years, 15 years of playing violin, or, because I didn't actually used to play the violin, but so I put in like 13, 14, 15 years of hard work just to play the violin, and then to get hired by a high tier orchestral a high tier company, acting company, drama company, that's one thing. And then the orchestra says, oh, we're only hiring you because you're black. And I'm just like, and so then what happened to the other people who you let go? It's like, oh yeah, they were white, so we had to let them go. And it's just like, but yeah, that would be condescending. That's condescending to the people who got laid off just because they're not diverse enough for you. And it's condescending to the people who got hired because I'm dark enough for you to hire me. And it's just like, it's rude. And the people who got fired, yeah, they should sue, because yes, they did get discriminated against. That's discrimination, I feel like that's discrimination. Maybe there's a more technical term for it, I guess, but like I would try and fight. If I were them, I would fight this, because it doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, and this is what happens. It's like people are so focused on including a certain group that seems oppressed, that seems excluded, that they exclude the other people who were there first. And it's just like, so what's gonna happen to us? And it doesn't really solve the problem. It just reverses the problem. It's just it's a 360. It's not a 180. It's like you're just going back to the same problem. It's just one party is in a different position than the other party now. Is in the same position that the other party was in. And it's not right, and it's not fair, and no one should have to go through that. And it's, like I said before, it's condescending. There was a terrible idea. And the fact that they even went through it, it's like, I don't know why these companies are doing this. And it's like, they're not consulting. Like, why don't you actually consult actual black people? And like, when you want to fix black problems, maybe that would help. And you know what would probably be even better? If you actually if you had black people on the inside, in the company, to tell you, yeah, you know what? Just firing a bunch of people just because you want a more diversified orchestra doesn't sound that great, because it makes you look like you're the jerks in this situation. Like, it makes you look like you're jerks in this situation, and and they technically are, because again, like I said before, they fired people just because they want to increase diversity. This is during a worldwide pandemic. People, the the musical business, the art business has already gone through tough times. The drama business has already gone through tough times. I mean, if you ever followed the shows must go on channel, they would always ask for donation. If you ever followed the Royal Opera House during the lockdown, they always said they need donations. The Screen Actors Guild said they need donations. I think it was the Screen Actors Guild. But it's just because these actors and these musicians need money, and because they can't play for people in a worldwide stadium, they have to do it. They have to do it on the internet, and it's just like they need They need this job, and for you to do that just speaks to how much you do not care. You only care about what you care about, and you're not. It doesn't sound like you care. It only sounds like you care about money. This was clearly a financial move, and it backfired on you, because now the musicians union, I read in the article, is coming after you, trying to fight this. So yeah, your European touring opera, they need to get their stuff together, because all what they said, all that they said is like, we appreciate the people who have worked for us for a long time, but we're now departing. We're not, and we hope that you'll find better opportunities now that we're going our separate ways. And I'm just like, that's all you can give them. That's all the work that they did, and then you go backstab them like that. It's terrible. So, well, actually, you didn't backstab them, because you looked them in the face and said, we're getting rid of you because you don't fit a certain type criteria. You're not oppressed enough. So you're not oppressed enough to our standards. So we're gonna let you go. See, this is why when those companies would say Black Lives Matter, when they would put black boxes on saying support black businesses, it's just like, you don't know anything, and then you still have the nerve to do these things that clearly state that you still have these racist CEOs who say whatever they want. You still have these racist people in power who say all these racist stuff, and you let them get away with it, and it's just. This is one of the reasons why I have no faith. This is one of the reasons why I have no faith in these types of movements, because the people who are leading them just don't know. The people who are leading them just don't know how to communicate to the other people, just don't know how to communicate to outside of the community. Well, the people who are part of the community don't know how to communicate, and the people who are outside of the community don't know how to communicate with the people inside the movement. So that's why we just don't know, and everything's just out of control, and it hurts. Even hurts to look at this, because they're playing with human lives. Everyone's playing with human lives. At the end of the day, black, white, Latino, Asian, I don't know. It's Muslim. You're playing with human lives just to politically and financially gain power, and it's terrible. That's all I have to say. Bye.